It's good to see you. Welcome to another edition of Bible Shorts with Biblebob. If you have not subscribed to the YouTube channel, please go there. And if you haven't told somebody about Biblebob, please tell them. Share it on social media. Blast it. You could even do that TikTok thing, which I haven't figured out yet because it seems like the videos are too long. Somehow they got to be shorter. But if you want to jump on and be like a volunteer editor of something of the Biblebob program, we'd love to have you on board. The more episodes we do, the more viewers we have, the more messages we have to answer, which is a really good thing. But we want to honor everybody and have some really good, fruitful discussions. So spread Biblebob around and tell somebody to read their Bible today. So, and where we're at, so today we're going to be on part 8 of, it's in the book of Hosea. So part 8 is chapter 8. And the series is called Wife of Whoredom. This is episode number 110. And to bring you up to speed, if for some reason this is the first of the series that you've listened to, I urge you to go and listen to the other 7 after this one. And what's beautiful about Hosea, it's kind of like a love story of a man going after a cheating wife. It sounds kind of weird, but let me give you the backdrop. So back in chapter 1, Hosea is a minor prophet. A minor prophet is a group of people that only wrote less than the major prophets. So, and we're going to hear from a major prophet within this chapter of, as I'm reading it anyway, he's not in the chapter, but Ezekiel. So Hosea is a minor prophet. And Hosea is told by God, go marry a woman who's going to cheat on you. She's going to commit adultery. She'll be unfaithful. She'll have children with other fathers. And what it is, it's a true story that's also a metaphor of, like, back then, the people, the Israelites, the way they were acting. They were committing spiritual adultery with God's other nations, customs, cultures. They were walking out on God. They didn't remember what he had done. They weren't even remembering, hey, he got them out of Egypt and what he did there. That was huge, people. So, and we today, Hosea is almost like a forerunner of Christ or a type of Christ. What I mean by that is he's the bridegroom. Jesus is the bridegroom. Hosea was going after a cheating wife, the bride. We are the bride of Christ. And frankly, the way we live sometimes, we've committed spiritual adultery because we have idolized things instead of God. And maybe it's money, maybe it's sex, whatever. We put things in front of God. And we haven't exactly been humble servants. We've been hypocrites. But enough of that. We'll talk probably about some of that later. Let me go into chapter 8. And chapter 8 in this Bible here, it begins with Israel's false hopes. So in chapter 6, we had the first lament. God gives his first lament. A lament is like a sorrowful cry with accusations. And then we had in chapter 7, we had the Lord's second lament. And what we're going into now is chapter 8. And it says, put the trumpets to your lips and give the warning. The enemy swoops down on my people like an eagle. The Israelites have broken my agreement. They've turned against my teachings. They cry out to me, our God, we in Israel know you. But Israel has rejected what is good. So the enemy chases them. They chose their own kings without asking my permission. They chose their own leaders, men I did not know. That's a really good advice there. When we go to vote for people, I think it's wise to ask God, who should we vote for? Who has a political platform that more aligns with biblical values and biblical morality than somebody who does not? Too often we get caught up in personalities. And personalities you could really put under the heading of all have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. There's people we just don't get along with. You might be looking at Biblebob and saying, I don't like this guy. I don't like his mannerisms, blah, 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 blah. And the beauty of the world is that God made everybody in his image and likeness. So the very person that you're putting down, that I'm putting down, that I don't like, is somebody made in the image and likeness of God. So when you go into the voting booth, like here, God is blaming them. You chose kings without asking God. I wouldn't vote without asking God. So they trust in the palaces they have built, and Judah trusts in her many strong walled cities. It's like the Israelites thought that if they build these strong cities that would protect them from their enemies. If God wants to take you out, there ain't no strong walled city that's going to stop God from allowing an enemy to take you out. So, but I will send fire on their cities and destroy their strong towers. So going back, that's the end of it. Let me go some of the middle verses because I think they're important too. Let me go back to verse. Oh, it's about the cows. Well, let's go into silver and gold. They made their silver and gold into idols. For all this, they will be destroyed. I hate their calf-shaped idol. I am very angry with the people. How long will they remain unclean? The idol is something that a craftsman has made. It is not God. It is not God. Israel's calf-shaped idol surely will be smashed to pieces. Israel's foolish plans are like planting in the wind. They will harvest a whirlwind. Her plans are like a stalk with no head of grain. It produces nothing. Even if it produces something, other nations will eat it and Israel will be destroyed. The people are mixing among the other nations. They have become useless to me. So when you mix amongst other nations and other cultures, let's say that you mix religions together. That's not quite going to work. Can you imagine Jewish people trying to exist in a country like Iran? It's a Muslim country. It's probably one of the worst countries on the face of the earth because they're the greatest sponsor of terrorism. But there are certain people that you cannot mix with, certain religions that you cannot mix. So these people, Israelites, were going and mixing with foreign gods. They had idols. They're worshiping idols. And it's not a good thing. Like a wild donkey, Israel has run to Assyria. Israel has hired other nations to protect her. Although Israel is mixed among the nations, I will gather them together. They will become weaker and weaker as they suffer under the king of Assyria. They went to other nations to get protection instead of praying to God for protection. They put their hope in people instead of God. The more altars Israel built to remove sin, the more they have become altars for sinning. They reject the many teachings that I have written for them. They act as if the teachings were strange and foreign to them. Strange teachings. The Israelites offer sacrifices to me and eat the meat, but the Lord is not pleased with them. He remembers the evil they have done, and he will punish them for their sins. They will be slaves again as they were in Egypt. The people of Israel have forgotten their Maker. They trust in the palaces they have built, and Judah trusts in her many strong-walled cities. But I will send fire on their cities and destroy their strong towers. So looking back over my life, I was one of those guys that thought, you know what? If I met a problem, I would just try harder to go through that. If there was a brick wall, man, I would just go through it. I would jump over it. Never thought of backing down and saying, God, is this the way I'm supposed to go? And so for a while, I had tons of success. It seemed like everything I touched turned to gold. I had several businesses and it was in real estate and everything was really, really good until one day, everything started to fall apart. Instead of turning to gold, it was more like I was in a season of fall. The leaves, it was like I would touch something and it became leaves from the tree that fell in the autumn down and decayed at the bottom of the tree. And my life was like a wind. No, I was more like a whirlwind. I thought that if I tried harder, I was all adrenaline and just go, 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 go. The problem was my busyness led to even less. The successes that I had, they dissipated. And the harder I worked, it seemed like I ended up with double the failure for every one success that I had. I'd go out and I had a vending business. I'd place one machine and I probably lost 3 the same day. Everything I touched fell apart. And looking back on it, I think it was all a part of God's plan. He needed to find a way to have me trust in him because I knew God, but I wasn't spending any time with him. I wasn't reading the Bible. I went to church years ago as a Catholic boy. I did a stand, sit, and kneel, and I think you all left service before the final hymn was over because pastor had to go to the back door and shake hands. And it was like, it wasn't a real worship experience. It wasn't a praise experience. It wasn't a real show of gratitude for all the things that God had given me. So he laid me low. He really humbled me out. And it was like nobody likes to lose. And I'm a competitor from day one. But when you take your eyes off of God, it's like the hypocrisy mounts. I used to say things like, well, hey, look at my children because my children are doing good, and look at those children. They weren't parenting the way I was. You know, everybody's going to come across some hard times in their lives. And you really shouldn't be. Hypocrisy is almost like a two-faced lip service that says that you're good, but you don't have time to show the goodness of God to somebody else in need. Hypocrisy is that two-faced lip service that says that you have compassion, but you don't lift a hand to show that to somebody. You got sympathy, but it doesn't turn into empathy as an act of like helping people. So it was a really hard time, but the beauty of it was God took every single failure I had and he turned it into wisdom, insight, knowledge that have become so invaluable, so innumerable, and they multiply immeasurably the more I give time to God. So if you're successful, God bless you. Find a way to give God gratitude for that success. If you're falling on hard times, turn to him and things will get better. They do get better. He's got a plan for the future. Israel here is, they're going to make it. Hang in there. They're going to make it. We'll go to part 9 after this series here, after this episode, in episode 111. That'll be coming next, part 9. But let me leave you with 2 verses that are really, really, really cool, because all the Bible verses are cool. So the first one is from Deuteronomy 6:18. I like the book of Deuteronomy. I call it the book of dudes. And back before I was a Bible Bob dude, I was following my own way. I was doing what I thought was right in my own eyes. I was being good in my own way, thinking I was good. I wasn't. I was a dude without God. So let me read you the verse. Do what is right and good in the Lord's eyes, then things will go well with you. You will go in and take over the land. It's the good land the Lord promised to your people of long ago. So that's Deuteronomy 6:18. So the second verse is from Micah 6:8. If you have any knowledge of the Bible, you might remember this. It is beautiful. I think it's the epitome of how to live. Jesus says, love your neighbor. This is kind of like the same thing. So the Lord has shown you what is good. He has told you what he requires of you. You must act with justice. You must love to show mercy. And you must be humble as you live in the sight of your God. That's a beautiful thing. So I hope you know how special you are. And I hope you know how worthy you are for somebody to be humble and show you grace and mercy. And I hope somebody does something special for you today. And I hope you just have a special day. So, hey, if you haven't subscribed to the YouTube channel, that'd be pretty special to do. But seriously, Jesus loves you, so do we. Thanks for your time. Go do something nice for somebody. See ya.